Alright guys, so today we're playing Paladins in 2025. It's been 9 years now, almost a full decade since this game first came out back in 2016. And I'm happy to say this game is still great, still a lot of fun, almost 10 years later. Still got plenty of players online. A lot of that has to do with the fact that it has full cross-play support between PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So that helps with you having, like, pretty much no problem. Like, I was playing randomly in the middle of the night, and I was able to get into a match. I was waiting in a lobby for maybe, like, 10 seconds, and I got into a match instantly. So you don't have to worry about the player base. The community is still going strong. You still get new heroes, new champions, still being released to this day. Like, it's not as much content as they used to drop, but they still drop in something every once in a while, so it's still very much active and still relevant in 2025. Considering the way Overwatch 2 turned out over the years, it's good to have a nice alternative to it that's actually very high quality, a very fun game. And of course, you also have Marvel Rivals, that is also a really good game, but that game is third person, this is first person, so it's going to feel different, play different, and just be a different experience for you. I stopped playing a lot over the years, not because the game sucked or there's anything wrong with it, it's just I got what I got out of the game. I got everything I could have possibly gotten out of it, and that's fine. Like, not every game that you play needs to last for 5, 10 plus years, and you're always playing it constantly over that long period of time. Now, some games just have a certain shelf life, and Paladins, for me at least, was one of those games where I played it really hard for like a year or two, and then after that, I kind of just moved on to something else. But especially if you're someone who never really got into Paladins or played much of it back then, I think you will certainly enjoy playing this game in 2025. The graphics are a little bit dated, but the core gameplay is still very solid and a lot of fun. It still holds up quite a bit almost 9 years later. And I could say from my own experience, I've had just about as much fun playing Paladins as I did even playing Overwatch during its peak in 2016, 2017. It's a great game. It's more than just an Overwatch ripoff, because it actually came out around the same time as Overwatch, so it couldn't have possibly copied Overwatch, because in order for that to have happened, they would have had to make the entire game in like 4 or 5 months, because that was the difference between the release of Overwatch and Paladins. Plus, Paladins was in early access, before Overwatch came out, from what I remember. One thing I do not like is that the game's monetization was definitely a lot better when I first played this game, because I got the Champions Pass, or whatever it was called back then, for like 30, 40 bucks, and I got access to all current champions and all future champions, so I'm still, whenever a new champion comes out, I have instant access to it. That's not how it works in 2025. Years ago, I think it was like 2019 or so, that they changed the way that the monetization works. So now, if you want to get the heroes, you have like a season pass now, instead of the actual, like, pass that gives you permanent access to all heroes. You only get X amount of heroes, like, in a certain season, which sucks. And as a result, you have to pay a lot more in order to have access to all the heroes than you had to when the game was in its prime. But there are full-price games, like For Honor, that do the same exact thing that Paladins does, and you have to pay for the game also. Like, the game is not free to play, but at least Paladins is free to play. So I can't judge the monetization of it too harshly, considering that it is free to play, and it's a very fun one at that, and it's not necessarily pay to win. So yeah, it's all in all not that bad, and it's still to this day one of the best hero shooters that you can play in 2025, and is probably like the second or third best hero shooter on the market right now. So if you're into the genre, if you're into playing games like this at all, and you haven't played Paladins, it's a no-brainer. Download this game right now, and if you're a returning player, it doesn't hurt to install it and play a couple games here and there, and kind of relive that nostalgia. So yeah, there's no reason why I wouldn't recommend it. I absolutely do think it's great in 2025. I mean, I think the gameplay speaks for itself. It's exhilarating, it's fast-paced, it's chaotic and fun. One of the GOATs.